A long time ago, when I was still a child, my parents would often go over to our neighbor's house to visit, and they always took me with them. Every time we went there was one thing that always scared me and made me feel extremely uneasy. At the entrance of the house, there was a hallway that led to the living room, and in that hallway hung a picture. A very disturbing and creepy picture. Every time I looked at it, it gave me a strange, uncomfortable feeling. The picture showed a man dressed in black, tall, thin, with sharp, pointed hands and spiky hair. One day, I asked our neighbor where she got the picture from, and she told me that her daughter, who passed away, had painted it. She said her daughter had seen that man in the forest near our homes. She described him exactly the way he looked in the picture, standing still next to an old tree. Then I asked her, "How did your daughter die?" She said, "My daughter convinced her friends to go with her to the meadow where that old tree was, to see if the man would be there. After that, my daughter and her friends never came back home. I went searching for them, and the first place I looked was the old tree. There, I found the picture. Underneath the picture was a note. Mom, I want this to be my keepsake for you." I then went to the police and told them everything, and they launched a search for the little girl. In the end, they found her body buried deep in a forest far from here. She told me she kept the picture as a memory of her daughter. I was completely shocked. I didn't even know she ever had a daughter. After hearing that story, I was traumatized and couldn't bring myself to visit that house again. A few days ago, I remembered everything and decided to go visit the neighbor again to ask her where the tree was located. I wanted to find out if the story was true. She grabbed my hands and said, "You must not go there." I told her I will be careful and that I just wanted to see the tree. She finally let go and said she wouldn't tell me the location. I went home, and the next day, my brother came over. I told him the story, and he wanted to go explore and find the tree too. We started walking around the village and eventually ran into one of our neighbors. We asked him if he knew where the old tree that everyone talked about was, and he gave us exact directions. We headed out and reached the tree, but it was the daytime and we didn't find anything. We went back home and waited for the nightfall. When it got dark, we grabbed flashlights and went back to the tree. When we got there was smeared blood on the tree. We were scared and deeply unsettled. In the mud on the ground, we saw footprints, but these weren't human or animal footprints. They were something I never seen before. At that moment, I felt something sharp and spiky on my back. I slowly turned around and my heart stopped. It was him, the man from the picture. He had the exact same spiky hair, sharp fingers, and he was completely black. He was hanging from a tree branch. My brother and I started running as fast as we could and made it home. We locked all the doors and couldn't calm down from the fear. After some time, We finally drifted off to sleep. In my dream, the tree appeared again, but the sky was red, and behind the tree stood a ruined city. The man was standing next to the tree, staring straight at me. Suddenly, he started running toward me, screaming in a bizarre voice. That's when I woke up. My brother was lying next to me, still asleep. But then I heard the exact same scream from my dream, outside the house. I turned to wake my brother, but my heart froze. Half my brother's head was missing. His face was covered in scratch marks, and his eyes had been removed. I panicked and ran to the neighbor's house to tell her everything. When I got there, the front door was wide open, and the house was covered in bloodstains and drawn arrows. I started following the arrows, and they led me to the basement. The basement door was unlocked. When I went inside, I saw a girl lying on the floor, tied up. I approached her, removed the tape from her mouth, and asked her who she was and why she was there. She said. Then I heard footsteps behind me. I slowly turned around, and there she was, my neighbor. Standing beside her was the man from the picture. She closed the basement door and said, "I told you. You shouldn't have found that tree."